Nancy with Nancy's Nibbles of Life, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Nancy and I'm on the WW plan. I'm on the blue plan and I get 23 points a day, and I love bringing you recipes, what I eat in a day, and sometimes grocery hauls centered around the WW plan. If you're on the green or the purple plan and I'm providing a recipe, I'll give you the points to those plans as well. So everybody is welcome around here. Subscribers, thank you so much for returning and joining me again today. It's so great to have you. And I don't think you're going to regret it because I have a great recipe for you today. If you've been following my channel, you know that I am in love with this Flavor Pop cookbook from the WW program. I think it's my favorite because the recipes in here are so yummy, flavorful, easy to make, and I have another one for you today. It's a yummy chocolate cookie. Who doesn't want a chocolate cookie recipe? I know I do. So listen, let's learn about this recipe. Come on, let's go. So today's recipe is a chewy chocolate walnut cookie. Look at this cookie. Look at that. Wow. Doesn't that look delicious? And you know, I say that this cookbook is filled with recipes with ingredients that you already have in your pantry because, you know, a few days ago I thought, what can I bring next to my channel? I happened to pick up the book and I was so surprised to see that I had all of these ingredients for these cookies in my pantry. So let's talk about those ingredients. The recipe is calling for 2 1/3 cups of a powdered sugar, which I have here. It's also calling for 3/4 of a cup of some cocoa powder. And you know, I just have this Hershey's cocoa powder here, the unsweetened. So it's calling for 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. We all have salt in our cabinets. It's also calling for 3 large eggs. So I have my eggs here, but we're only going to use the whites of those eggs. So I've allowed these eggs to sit at room temperature for a while. We will crack them, do something else with those yolks because we don't want to waste them, especially with the cost of food these days. But that's another story. So we'll keep our egg whites, 3 large egg whites, and you're also going to need 2 teaspoons of a vanilla extract, which I have here. And the recipe calls for 1 cup of walnuts. I have a substitution today. I'm going to be using almonds, some slivered almonds. I don't have walnuts, but I do have those almonds, which are just fine with me. Chocolate and nuts of any kind, I'm all for that. So the recipe says to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So we're going to do that. We're going to also walk the ingredients through the recipe so you see how I use them. And we'll talk about the points. Alrighty, you ready to get started? Let's go. All right, the first step to our chewy chocolate walnut cookies is to go ahead and to a medium-sized bowl, sift together your sugar, cocoa, and your salt. So this recipe, by the way, is gluten-free if you haven't noticed because we're not using any flour. So we're going to go ahead and mix our ingredients into our sifter here because we just want to make sure that we get a balance. And we're going to go ahead again and sift them together. If you don't have a sifter like I have here, just maybe use a fine strainer. Just want to make sure that we avoid any lumps and clumps to our cocoa and our sugar and salt mixture. Okay, we're going to add that to a medium bowl and move on to our recipe. Okay, now that we've sifted together our cocoa powder and our sugar, let's go ahead and add that 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Remember, the recipe calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. We're also going to add in our 3 egg whites, our vanilla, and then we're going to fold in those nuts. Okay, let's keep working. see the silkiness of that chocolate? Wow, this came together so easily and it looks so yummy. So you saw me go ahead and add those nuts. Again, the recipe calls for 1 cup of chopped nuts. I added almonds, but the recipe uses walnuts, but you could also use peanuts. I also added 2 teaspoons of a vanilla, 1/8 of a teaspoon of a little salt, added those nuts in, and here we are. So remember at the beginning I said that you should preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You also want to grab a cookie sheet. I have mine around here somewhere. And add some parchment paper to your cookie sheet and drop these cookies onto that parchment paper. So we're going to do that now. Our cookies are out of the oven. You know what that means? Taste test time. They smell delicious and they look so beautiful. What an easy recipe to put together. Wow, 4 smart points across all plans. I want to give you a few tips if you're going to make these cookies yourself. The first tip is to use your whisk to stir together your batter before you use your electric mixer. Because once you add your eggs and that cocoa powder and that powdered sugar and your salt, you want to use the whisk. If you just go in with your electric mixer, you'll have powder flying everywhere. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, spray your measuring spoon or your 1 tablespoon measuring spoon with a little bit of cooking spray before you drop them onto your cookie sheet, because it just allows that batter to easily slide off of your spoon. And then tip number 3, you saw that I was able to freeze the remaining cookie batter by allowing it to be placed into a Ziploc bag, into a little cup or a container. You just want to open up your bag, allow that batter to easily drop inside, fold it, get rid of any air bubbles, and you can freeze it for your next time. So, are you ready to taste these cookies? I know I am. I've allowed them to cool. And the first thing I notice is that they are very shiny and crispy feeling, and they smell divine. Did I already say that? Oh my gosh. Let's give it a taste. I'm gonna let that go to waste. Wow. is chewy, fudgy. And those nuts are perfect. See that? So good. Your family's gonna love that one. Wow. You know, at 4 smart points a cookie, it's not the lowest point cookie recipe that you could find, but it is decadent. And you made them right at home, so you can control the quality of all the ingredients. This is another cookie that would be wonderful with a little powdered sugar on top, displayed for the holidays. So you might want to keep that in mind as well. Well, what a great recipe, again, from that Flavor Pop cookbook. I'm really digging it. And I hope that you are too. If you are, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It really helps the video get out there. It helps my channel grow, which is what I need. I appreciate you tuning in every week to watch a video that I upload. Again, if you like the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And guess what, guys? I'll see you on the next video. Bye!